The hum of the Starliner Aurora filled the air like a heartbeat, a steady vibration beneath polished chrome floors and tinted observation glass that showed Earth shrinking into a distant marble. Passengers murmured softly, most of them first-class elites dressed in silk polymers and glow fabric suits. The scent of ozone and engineered lavender drifted through the cabin, courtesy of the atmosphere regulators designed to keep everyone calm on the long flight to Mars. Among those slipping quietly into their plush seats was Ray Calder. He looked out of place amid the shimmer of wealth. Worn leather jacket, utility pants, boots that had seen real dust, not the synthetic kind in Mars resorts. His ticket flashed green as he passed the scanner, and the android attendant bowed slightly. "Welcome aboard, Passenger Calder. Cabin 1A. He nodded, not meeting the synthetic's eyes. That's how he liked it. Blend in, stay invisible. But invisibility, he'd learned, was difficult in first class. Especially when people like Karen Drayden were watching. She entered like she owned the ship, because, in a way, she did. The Drayden Corporation's logo gleamed in subtle gold on the hull near the boarding hatch, and everyone in the business world knew Karen's family had a major stake in the Starliner fleet. Her tailored exosuit adjusted itself to the perfect ergonomic shape as she glided down the aisle, her posture sharpened by years of corporate dominance. Her assistants followed 2 steps behind, silent and efficient, carrying data pads and whispering into comm links. Karen's eyes landed on Ray the moment she saw him. He was seated near the window, hands folded, eyes on the stars. No hollow entertainment, no data visor. Just stillness. Her brow furrowed. "Excuse me," she said, stopping beside him. "I think there's been a mistake." Ray looked up slowly. "Pardon." She gestured toward the seat. "This is first class. You must be lost." He blinked once. "My ticket says 1A. The android attendant, standing nearby, confirmed in its smooth, metallic voice, "Passenger Calder is indeed assigned to seat 1A, Ms. Drayden." Karen's lips pressed thin. "That can't be right. He's clearly..." She trailed off, glancing at his boots, his jacket, the faint scar under his eye. "He's clearly not from our travel demographic." The android tilted its head, confused by human prejudice. "All verified passengers have the right to first-class seating, Ms. Drayden." Ray's gaze was calm, but there was something in his eyes, steel beneath the quiet. "It's all right," he said softly. "Let her think what she wants." Karen gave a tight laugh. "Oh, I will. Enjoy your seat, Mr. Calder. I hope you're comfortable. They don't usually serve recycled protein here." With that, she turned sharply and moved to her own seat 2 rows away. Ray exhaled through his nose. He'd dealt with worse. Prejudice was timeless, whether on Earth, Mars, or the void between. When the engines powered up for jump sequence, soft blue light washed over the cabin. Hollow screens shimmered with flight information, and the captain's voice echoed through the air. "Welcome aboard Starliner Aurora. Estimated travel time to Mars, 47 hours. Please enjoy your flight." The ship launched with the smooth silence of anti-gravity thrusters, and within minutes, they were beyond Earth's stratosphere. Stars unfolded like silver fireflies against the black canvas of space. Ray watched quietly, one hand on his armrest, the other near his side pocket, where a hidden badge and pulse pistol rested beneath the fabric. To anyone else, he was just another traveler. But in truth, Lieutenant Ray Calder of the Interplanetary Security Agency was on duty. And this wasn't just a pleasure flight, it was a mission. A coded transmission had reached him 2 days ago. Possible terrorist infiltration aboard the Aurora. The suspects might attempt to smuggle an alien bioweapon to Mars. The threat level: red. His orders: remain undercover, observe, and neutralize if necessary. But for now, he was just a man sitting quietly among luxury. Karen, meanwhile, continued to fume. She kept glancing over her shoulder, whispering to her assistant, "Do background checks. I want to know how someone like him could afford this ticket." Her voice was sharp, low enough not to carry far, but Ray's cybernetic hearing implant picked up every syllable. He almost smiled. She reminded him of the bureaucrats he used to protect, powerful in name, fragile in crisis. The meal service began. Dishes arrived on levitating trays: saffron gel noodles, cultured salmon, crystal wine poured by android hands. Ray declined politely. "Just water." Karen's eyebrows rose. Water. In first class. Ray glanced at her, expression unreadable. Old habit. Keeps the head clear. She gave a soft laugh. You'll need more than that up here, colonist. The word stung. Not because of insult, but because of what it revealed. People like her still believed Earth-born were superior to Mars settlers, even after decades of unification. To her, the class divide wasn't just economic, it was genetic. He turned away. He'd met hundreds like her. But few ever saw the truth beneath the uniform. Hours passed. The lights dimmed for rest period. Outside, asteroids drifted lazily through the void, glowing faintly in the reflection of solar flares. Ray stayed awake, pretending to read a digital magazine while scanning the room. His eyes moved from face to face, measuring, memorizing. The man 2 seats down, fidgety, sweating, possible nervous courier. The elderly woman whispering into her bracelet, encrypted comm device. Then Karen, relaxed, sipping her wine, yet her wrist implant pulsed faintly under her skin. To the untrained eye, it looked like a luxury biometric band. To Ray, it looked like an unauthorized signal emitter. He tapped a button on his wrist pad, opening a silent scan. Data flickered across his contact lens. Encrypted transmissions, intermittent, masked as entertainment streams. Destination. Unknown. Ray frowned. Could Karen Drayden be linked to the smuggling? He doubted it at first. She was too public, too visible. But corporate smuggling rings had used, respectable, fronts before. Maybe this flight wasn't just coincidence. The ship trembled slightly as it crossed the orbital drift near LUNA 9. Karen glanced up, annoyed. I thought first-class rides were supposed to be smooth, she muttered. Space has bumps too, Ray said quietly. She glared. I wasn't talking to you. Ray said nothing. He only noted the tension, the way her hand drifted to her implant again, as if checking for connection. The hum of the ship deepened, signaling the approach of the jump point, where Aurora would enter slipstream space. Most passengers leaned back, trusting the AI autopilot. But Ray's instincts flared. He'd been in too many ships, too many crises, to relax. Something about this flight was wrong. He could feel it. The quiet before the storm, the breath before the breach. Karen sipped her drink, unaware that within hours, she'd see the calm shatter. She still thought the man beside her was nobody. Just another colonist, out of place. She had no idea that the nobody in seat 1A carried the authority to arrest her, to command the ship, to save every life aboard if things went sideways. Ray leaned back and looked through the window, stars streaking like rivers of light. His reflection stared back at him, calm, tired, waiting. The hum of the ship deepened as the starliner Aurora crossed into slipstream. Stars outside the window stretched into luminous ribbons, and gravity softened into a slow, rhythmic pulse. Most passengers drifted into half-sleep, cocooned in ambient light and synthetic comfort. But Ray Calder didn't close his eyes. His mind was wired, his nerves attuned to every vibration of the hull. He had been trained for this, to notice the small wrongness in perfect silence. He reclined just enough to appear relaxed, yet his gaze flicked to every movement in the cabin. The air smelled faintly of recycled citrus, the android attendants moved in smooth, pre-programmed patterns. Still, something itched at the back of his skull, the instinct that had kept him alive through 15 covert flights and 2 failed hijacking attempts. Something about this voyage was not routine. His internal link buzzed. A silent code flared across his retinal implant. Transmission detected. Unauthorized frequency. Deck 1 cabin source unknown. His gaze slid naturally to Karen Drayden. She was busy dictating a voice memo into her wrist implant, whispering in polished corporate tones. Yes, proceed with the shipment manifest. Tell Row Division to prepare extraction upon arrival. No, I don't care about customs, our clearance is absolute. She paused, as if aware of being watched, and gave a tight smile toward Ray before turning away. Ray sipped his water. Her implant wasn't just sending standard messages. His system picked up encrypted data bursts that pulsed every few seconds, military grade. Not something even a high-tier corporate license allowed. He glanced toward the service corridor. 2 android attendants stood idle near the food dispenser. Their eyes, usually a calm cyan, flickered amber for a split second. That wasn't normal either. Androids didn't blink. Not unless someone had tampered with their behavior subroutines. He tapped a silent code on his wristband. Diagnostics, Unit 45A and 45B. The response came instantly. Unauthorized data modification. Source: Cargo Deck Network Node. Ray exhaled slowly. There it was, a lead. The interference wasn't random. Someone was inside the ship's system, using the cargo deck's maintenance grid to piggyback messages through the ship's AI core. And the only passenger broadcasting on that frequency was sitting a few seats away. He waited for the dinner period to end before standing up. Stretching my legs, he murmured to no one in particular. Karen barely looked up, but he noticed the faint flick of her eyes following him in the window reflection. He moved down the aisle, entering the access hatch marked Authorized Personnel Only. The door scanned his passenger ID and denied entry. He tried again, this time overlaying a hidden authorization token. The lock light turned green. The service corridor was narrow and dimly lit, lined with humming conduits and control panels. Ray opened his wrist display, scanning for anomalies. Lines of code streamed past. The interference was growing stronger. He followed the signal downward, step by silent step, until he reached the junction near the cargo lift. The walls vibrated faintly, a sign that the ship's stabilizers were compensating for internal imbalance, maybe from something moving inside the cargo bay. A faint hiss echoed behind him. He turned fast, hand near the grip of his weapon. Karen Drayden stood there, perfectly composed, her expression a mix of irritation and curiosity. "You're not supposed to be back here," she said. Ray's jaw tightened. "Neither are you. I could say the same about you," she replied coolly. "You don't walk like a tourist. You scan every exit, and you bypassed a lock that requires crew clearance. Who are you?" He hesitated, then smiled slightly. "Just a concerned passenger." She folded her arms. "Concerned passengers don't carry concealed weapons under their jackets. Relax. I have eyes too." Ray studied her carefully. Her voice didn't hold malice, just calculation. The kind of tone that belonged to someone used to negotiating at the edge of legality. "You're interfering with the ship's systems," he said quietly. "That implant of yours, it's not standard." Her eyes narrowed. "You're monitoring me." "I monitor everyone," he replied. For a moment, neither spoke. The hum of the corridor deepened. Then, the ship shuddered, a sharp, short tremor, followed by a low alarm tone. "What was that?" Karen asked, glancing upward. Ray opened his comm link. Static. The internal channels were dead. Then his implant flashed a new message. "Security breach. Cargo deck lockdown initiated." He cursed under his breath. "Stay here." Karen frowned. "I don't take orders from." He turned, flashing his identification so fast it almost blurred, a silver badge pulsing with the insignia of the Interplanetary Security Air Marshal Service. Her words froze in her throat. "Oh," she said softly. "Yeah," Ray answered, already moving toward the cargo lift. "Oh." The lift doors opened with a heavy groan. He stepped in, weapon drawn, and Karen hesitated before following. "You shouldn't be here," he said. "You shouldn't be traveling alone," she shot back. "Whatever's happening, my company name is on this ship. If it crashes, I burn too." Ray didn't argue. The lift descended into shadows, the air growing colder as they approached the storage decks. When the doors slid open, the scene waiting for them looked wrong. Crates had been pushed aside, cargo straps torn loose. The air shimmered faintly, as if the light itself was warped. Ray scanned with his wrist pad. "Energy residue," he muttered. "Quantum level displacement. Someone opened something they shouldn't have." Karen took a step forward, the glow from her implant casting faint light on the metal floor. "What are they moving down here?" "Whatever it is," Ray said, "it's not supposed to be in human space." A sudden metallic screech echoed through the deck. One of the android loaders jerked violently, its head twisting at an unnatural angle before straightening again. Its voice came out in static bursts. "Unauthorized. Override. Containment breached." Then it lunged. Ray fired once. A low hum from his pulse weapon, and the android collapsed, sparking. He kicked it aside, eyes scanning for others. Karen pressed her back to the wall, breathing hard. "You just killed a Starliner property unit." "I just saved your life," he said flatly. "Something's hijacking the ship's automation." "Hijacking." He pointed at the shattered android. Look at the microchip ports. They're fused. That's a neural infection. Some kind of self-propagating code. It spreads through connected systems. Karen's eyes widened. A virus. More like a parasite, Ray said grimly. Digital and biological. She froze. You think this is what your agency was tracking? I don't think, he said. I know. The ship trembled again, this time harder. The emergency lights switched to crimson. A synthesized voice echoed over the intercom. Attention passengers. Temporary system failure detected. Please remain in your cabins. Karen looked at him, fear flickering beneath her calm. They don't even know what's happening, do they? Ray holstered his weapon, checking the perimeter. They will soon. But by then, it might be too late. She followed him through the maze of cargo, past towering containers labeled with corporate sigils, Drayden Industries among them. When they reached one marked, classified, BIOCARGO, fragile, Ray stopped cold. The signal on his scanner spiked. It's in there. Karen stared at the container, then at him. That's one of ours. He turned slowly. Care to explain why your company's name is on a sealed military-grade crate broadcasting encrypted transmissions to the ship's main AI? Her face paled. That's impossible. I never authorized. She trailed off. The realization hit her like ice. Someone's using my clearance. Ray nodded once. Then whoever they are, they're already on board. The lights flickered again. A low hum filled the deck. Not mechanical, but alive, pulsing in rhythm with their heartbeats.